Hello friends, let's continue learning Ansible. Ansible. We are going to explore something interesting here, module setup. Before I run that command, what I want to do is I want to run a playbook. So let's write a playbook. I hit cancel, Vim, and let's give the playbook some name. For example, check uptime.yml. Now, the first thing, those three dashes there, then this thing there. Now, let's give a name to our play. So, the name for our play is what? Let us explore some interesting facts. Now, on what hosts we want to run this play? I have my web server. So, one server, two server, 10 servers, it will cover everything. Now, the tasks that we want. Okay, tasks. So our first task is check uptime. So we can use the module command, right? We already used that module before also in one of the previous videos. Check uptime. So using the module command or shell, we can directly run the uh, OS command here. The OS command is uptime, right? Or system command. Now recall that we use this register keyword to register the output in a variable. So let's call it uptime underscore output. So this task is completed now. Now another task is to show it. Now show the output. Show the output with the help of what? Can you recall? The debug module. This thing message. Now let's say that this is the variable dot std out. If you don't say std out, then just the variable name, if you use it, it will show you lots of lines. We noticed it earlier also. Okay. Now, if you want any customized message there, you can put inside there uptime of the system dash this. It will show you the uptime as well as the system load or load average if you are familiar with the uptime command. So this is done. I think yes, pretty much. So on the line number 11th, I can do this. A hash symbol there to mean that this playbook is, sorry, this play is complete as of now. Let's get out of it. Ansible dash playbook syntax check because we might introduce some typos or misspell the parameters, the module names, etc. Right? It looks okay, good, very nice. And we know that we can now execute it. So I clear the screen and I also clear scroll back and I just sit back and pray that this thing goes fine. The play name is there. Let's explore some interesting facts. Oh, it has completed the work. See? So let's explore some interesting facts. That is the name of the play. Now, this task, gathering facts, we did not specify that task. It is the default behavior of Ansible. You might have noticed earlier also. And it went very fine. Now, this is the task which we defined actually, and this is also. So, we defined two tasks, but actually there are three tasks, and all went fine. That is why you see here three OKs. Okay. First OK for the default gathering facts, and then the two tasks we have. So, everything looks fine. Now, let's come to the show the output thing. So, message, you see our customized message is also there, and the output from the command that we captured in the variable is also shown here. Okay, so this web server has been up for the last 2 hours and 21 minutes, and this is the count of the users logged into that web server, and load average is very low as of now, just 8% I think. So is this true or not? Let's run this command uptime. Okay, what is this value coming for? Run that command, you will understand. So the first value is the current date and time, or just time thing. Okay, now we have verified it. So what we do? Okay, you may say that I executed it on the web server. I'm running the command here. It is just to tell you that the output from uptime, how it is coming. So this thing is your time only, the current time. I have my web server. Now let's what was the name of our playbook? Check UT. So what we do, we didn't ask it to perform that. So gather facts, we can say this time no, don't gather it. So this time the playbook is going to run very quickly. Let me clear scroll back. You see, now our first task is there, and then the second task is there, and play recap is also there. We got two OKs this time. Okay, so gathering facts was not performed. However, that is not true. Some minimal information, or uh, minimum number of facts are still gathered. How can we use the same facts thing here? Type Ansible hyphen module m for module setup. So by running the ad hoc command also we can do that. Now where do I want to run it? On my web server, of course. For example, I don't specify any additional argument or parameter. So what happens? Let's see. I clear scroll back. It's taking time, right? When we run the playbook also it takes time. So we got several lines there. How many lines? Copy all to clipboard greater than facts. Paste it here. Control D. Hyphen N. Over 800 lines are there. What things are present? You see, Ansible virtualization type is VirtualBox. So I'm not using VMware or Docker container or Vagrant or anything. Vagrant, huh? This is VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox. Who developed it? The vendor name is this Innotech GmbH. Uh, and our architecture is 64-bit Scroll up. Selinox, Python is present. What Python version is there? Python is very essential, right? Ansible, mode name, web. Node name, sorry, node name. It's web. So all web servers. Now OS family, Ansible OS family is Red Hat. And what is the package manager we are using? Yum. It has gathered so many facts about our system. How many inodes are there? For what? For this disk root. So this is one set of information for our mounts. Only for one particular mount. Mount is root, mounted here. Then another disk or storage volume, whatever you call it. Scroll up, IP related information, checksum, Ansible, distribution. See. So let's go to the top. It all starts with this thing, Ansible Facts. What is the IPv4 addresses we are using for this host? Architecture is there. Current BIOS date and time. BIOS version is VirtualBox. So different parameters can give you similar information also. What is the VM Linux image we are using, right? That is the kernel thing. Date and time related. Several pieces of information. The time zone is set to IST, Indian Standard Time. Okay. Now I ask it to limit some, these facts to some certain subsets only. So I can ask it to say gather only subset. So what I mean by subset, that give me the minimal amount of information. What happened? Oh, I did not change the command. Sorry, that get command was there. Ansible hyphen m setup, and where we are running it on localhost. It is gathering everything but displaying only what we asked it for. So it's still this minimal, amount of facts are too many things here. Now I ask it, all is the default thing. So I ask it that exclamation mark means not. So don't give me everything. What happens now? Hey, why? I'm I'm not looking at that thing. Okay, don't give me everything, then what happens? It is still taking time, but when it comes to show the things, so it is still showing some minimal stops. Now, comma, I'm asking it, don't show me the minimal amount of information also. Okay, you see, gather subset, we negated all and negated minimum or minimal also. Now, comma, and I ask it, okay, give me just virtual things, virtualization related thing, or virtual stubs, virtual stubs, not real. Okay, so we see now that Ansible virtualization type is VirtualBox and the role is guest. It is not the host which will host other guests. So those 2 points we have gathered. You can just say virtual also here, but it will still give you a lot of things because minimal are still captured. You see, user system capabilities, they are still there. Python version. Now, I want particular strings which we see the arrow parameters and then values. So I use filter here and say give me only Ansible underscore distribution. What happens now? Okay. So Ansible Facts, it is sitting at the top as you know. And we have gathered this thing, distribution thing. Now underscore version. So what version we get? Should be 7 point something. Yeah, 7.6. So you are not running any additional command, system command to gather those pieces of information. You see the point here. If your management asks you to run a report and or prepare a report and gather information about your 1000 servers in your project, right? You have 1000 servers, Linux servers, and you want to capture that what OS family it is there or distribution it is there, and what is the version 7, 6, 8. You can capture it. Just make an inventory file and you supply the inventory file name. If it is not the default one, you use hyphen I with the inventory file name as I have already showed you earlier. Now, I hit Control C actually. I'll show you something more interesting, which I have shown you in my previous video also, because in the previous session we learned how to get help uh, about Ansible as well as about our system commands also, right? So that was a large, large video. Now I'm asking it to tell me about this setup module. So this is the setup module coming from here. As you can see, it's a Python program. Now, what it does, this module is automatically called by playbooks. We already have witnessed it. And filter, we applied the filter just now. We also applied this thing gather test, gather subset. You can use all minimum hardware network. So just limit it to network only. Okay. And we have used this exclamation mark also to negate our selection, and other things are also present here, and you can go to this example. So this is offline help you are having. You don't have to connect to your system to internet also, in case internet is not available. You can see the examples here. For example, this thing, display only facts returned by factor, or collect only facts returned by factor, etc. Network and virtual related only. Includes default minimum. So default minimum will be there usually. So to negate it, as we did, not minimum. We set it somewhere, right? And then there is this thing also, not any or any you want. So it says not all, not any, just network and virtual. Copy it right from here. You can copy it, okay? Hit Q to get out of it. Now It is running it on all the hosts. I'm asking it to run it only on my web server this time. Let's clear scroll back. Hit enter. Not all, not any, and network and virtual only. It takes time because it is gathering everything but limiting the output to whatever you have specified as the subsets. See, IPv4, what IPv4 address, local host address, Ansible kernel. Ansible kernel will give you the name of the kernel version you are using. So you can use -a also. Sorry, filter. Again, so many things are there, right? Now let's try this. If you are you are combining a node and your selection, then first you specify node things. So I say not minimum also. Then what I get. So the result will be limited this time, as you can see. Now I ask it to filter out only this thing. I don't want to see anything else. You see, this is sitting at the top. This is the response that the operation was successful for this host. From the Ansible Facts, the complete entire set, we got only this thing returned. Changed false means not actual change was performed. So I hope that you found this helpful and you can use it in your playbook to prepare reports. Of course, you can use these facts in your playbook to I'll show you some example. So what is the name of that check UT thing? See, here we used this variable, right? Similar to that, we can use facts also. So instead of setting it to no, we can just remove it, which would be yes. Now, here the system. Okay, what is the name of that system? We don't know, right? So you can say inventory host name. Ansible, we have seen examples with the prefix Ansible. Now this is something new I'm introducing here. So inventory host name. Let's get out of here and Ansible playbook. Run it on my localhost. Okay, good to go. We could check the syntax. Localhost could not be found. Interesting. Because in here I have already specified web. Okay, so I don't have to say localhost. Let's run it on the web. We can specify localhost in the playbook. Gathering facts, the default action or task. Check of time, very nice. Now, you see, uptime of the system. Now, system's IP is mentioned there. You see, earlier it was not there. So we can check uh, we can get it. Why we are getting the IP? Because in my inventory I have specified the IP, not the name, user-friendly name. I go in here again and change it to Ansible hostname and see if it works. Ansible underscore hostname. If I have set any hostname, it will come. It should come. Okay. So it is not coming. So maybe, why it is not coming? It should come. Yes, web. It has come. So that is the name of the host. Web. How do I know? See, this is my host name web there. You see, host name. And group name is also web. It is so small that I could not see it at first. So you can use those Ansible variables which will give you access to the facts Ansible is gathering, and you can use those facts in your playbooks. It makes your playbook very interesting again, right? You can specify that run my playbook only on Red Hat machines or on CentOS, on Ubuntu, Debian. You can specify how just this way. For example, Ansible -m setup, and there is this thing called filter equal Ansible underscore OS family. I think this is the name of the string or variable. Let's see. Or distribution we have already seen, right? So this was, oh, target was missing. So let's run it on web server. OS family Red Hat. So this is the response. Actual response is Red Hat. So you can compare that if Red Hat is present, then only on Red Hat machines I want to perform this activity. For example, you want to install some RPM and you cannot install RPM on Debian, right? So for Debian you need .deb file or maybe some other package. So RPM you can install on CentOS and Red Hat. So you can verify that if it is Red Hat or CentOS, then install my RPM package and leave the other OS family. So how you built you know that logic in your playbook? You use your own logic or brain, right? You use your ideas, but we'll explore it in some other session because it is already almost 30 minutes now. And before I go, I can tell you here that you can use something called WAN. Okay, but I'm not covering this thing here. Use the WAN module and explore it on your own. Anyways, in the next session, we'll explore it. So, tata, bye bye, good night.